few days back, Bobi Wine was a guest in BUVUMA Island, where he had gone on an invitation of the woman MP BUVUMA district, and he entered in style. In fact, his entrance scared the regime so much, and he continued to show that Bobi Wine is a force to reckon with so that the dictatorship can go home. That is Bobi Wine when he was entering in BUVUMA. In fact, the interest of Bobi Wine in BUVUMA has some lesson which I want to talk about in this video. Because once upon a time, people, especially from the opposition, were never used to be allowed to organize the Women's Day. So in this episode, I've come to talk about the lesson which was learned from this BUVUMA tour by Bobi Wine and the woman MP Susan Mugabe, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagari. There's a lot of content of this nature. If your politics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. In every lesson, in every situation, there is a lesson a human must learn. In fact, there's a saying that goes like, if you don't learn from your mistake, then you're a most stupid person. The tour of Bobi Wine in BUVUMA during the Women's Day was a success because of the following reason I want to tell you. Normally in life, you must fight for what is right. You must fight for the Constitution. Susan Mugabe once upon a time organized a Women's Day, and it was blocked by the RDC and the security operative. This thing came on the floor of Parliament. They talked about it. And during the Women's Day, this time around, it was successful. In fact, let me first take you a while back when Susan Mugabe was being beaten up by the police when he had organized the Women's Day. Here's the that is Susan Mugabe. And it made a lot of news. What I learned from this is, when you're fighting for the Constitution, do not relent. Imagine if Susan Mugabe was beaten then, and during this Women's Day doesn't organize, he would have lost. When fighting for our rights, we must not relent. We must keep doing the right thing. And for me, I feel bad that many women within the NUP never organize the same. Because if the regime comes out to brutally beat you, and you fight again, you organize, it will reach a time that they will leave you to do your things. This is what happens. When you are fighting for rights, do not settle because you've been beaten and go in your bedroom or toilet and cry. You must organize and do the same thing. So it is very clear that Susan Mugabe, for as long as the woman MP of BUVUMA, he will organize the Women's Day and it will be successful, and Bobi Wine will go there. Imagine if Bobi Wine had to go in 4 different districts. We would be engaging. We would be disseminating the opposition message. But many of the political players in the opposition, if they try to block them doing anything, they will sit down and wait for their salary. That's not what's supposed to be. Being in Parliament is also a front to advance human rights and fight for the Constitution. I applaud Susan Mugabe that she didn't relent even after being beaten in the previous Women's Day. He didn't relent. MPs must learn that fighting for rights, you must not relent. Mugabe, the lesson learned that he was beaten up, he fought in Parliament, he fought in court. Now they have allowed him to do these celebrations. I will do them each and every year successfully. Each MP must replicate that. Not only Women's Day, but even other days. Imagine if every NUP member on Women's Day organized, even if he's a man. The message of the revolution will go on being disseminated, but majority of opposition MPs are now becoming comfortable, which is unfortunate. So the lesson learned that during the fighting for human rights, relenting is not an option. Of course, that's my opinion. Do because by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. See you on another one. Peace.
Yes, Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makinde East constituency so that I can represent the great people of Makinde East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.
Sigadde nze Mr. Makindi Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali kantwene guno omukisa okubategeeza mbu ngenda kwesimba okuwa MP Makindi East 2026 nesimbawo luli era nkomawo bataata bamaama basenga bajjajja okubasaba akalulu. Makindi East ediridde nnyo emabega okumala emyaka 2 okuva omugenzi Sebana we yagenda. Yonsanga lwaki buli mukulembeze ajja tumuwayo ekisanja kimu kubanga tukola ensobi. Abakulembeze ba Makindi East okumala emyaka 15 buli we baranking abakulembeze abakozi b'omu parliament abatakyasinze kwogera babeeramu 2 abasemba. Ebyo bintu birina okwogerwa. Twetaaga omukulembeze ng'alina obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Twetaaga omukulembeze nga fighter, si bano bajooka. Bw'oba ng'ogenda saabalira ku mazzi ne baleeta eryato ly'ebbumba ne baleeta ne speed boat, tosobola kukwata lyato lya bbumba ogenda osaabale kubanga lijja kunywa amazzi obbire bassebo ne bannyabo. Oba olina kulondawo speed boat efubutuka kaweewo ekusomese mangu. Nze Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali, nze speed boat. Bannaye munonde muninnye nsooke mbasaabaze ku speed ey'ekizungirizi. Eddoboozi lyaffe libadde teriwulirwa. Kyekiseera mu 2026 mulonde nze kamwa kwogera Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali ayina eddoboozi eryamwanguka ajoyimirira ku parliament ayanje ensonga mu beesimbyewo bonna bassebo ne bannyabo teryansinga kwanja nsonga. Abaneesimbyeko bonna baneegomba olw'engeri gye njogeramu, olw'engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Gw'oba okiwakana eno YouTube yange sooka ogiraba ogifollowing ogisharing olabe ne video eziriko engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Kuba mwaka faananyi nga ndi ku floor ya parliament nga ngamba Mr. Speaker sa wa Madam Speaker sa waliwo asobola okugaana okuwulira. So mu 2026 tetukola era ne mulonda omulala atali Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali. Musibe bulungi, mweraba. Peace.
Mpala nawala kusaba kibuze mpala na bulungi abampala no bulungi nange benjagala obulungi.